they might not have many choices left because Egoboys have been very on point with these pause 1 bans.
All right. Egoboys, their third pickup. Maybe a position 4 here. They don't really need to reveal too much yet. And they'll go for the Earth Spirit, fair enough. Pretty valuable pick as well, right? The Earth Spirit, plenty of control, a lot of magic damage for the Timber. Silence is pretty nice. Into pretty much all
Yeah.
the picks from NoPing, and when you see a CM on the other side as an Earth Spirit, it kind of feels nice. Gives you that one target that you know you can burst down by yourself if you need to. Mind you, that is probably going to be a Matthew CM, and yesterday I predicted it was going to be a terrible Crystal Maiden game, and he completely proved me wrong. So I say it should be easy pickings for this ES, but the way Matthew positions his Crystal Maiden, he does make it very, very hard for you to actually get in the backlines and pick him off. And if you do, you've generally overextended. He'll usually just pop the freezing field and just go from there. You usually get caught with your pants down if you try to jump him.
Yeah. Can be tricky. We'll see if Matthew can replicate that performance here today. NoPing are taking their time with their next pick, probably wondering if they want the pause 4 first or their core. As again, if they don't pick that core up, it's more than likely going to be banned out. So they are just setting their priorities up. They do go for the Dark Willows. They go for their support duo. That does mean our Invoker is confirmed for mid. Dark Willow CM is not a support duo you see too often, and that does give them some decent control coming out. You've got the Bramble Maze, you've got the Root from the CM as well, so you have a lot of ways of keeping heroes down, but not instantaneously, except for the CM Root. So there's a bit more pressure on the CM to stay alive to ensure that they lock in one hero guaranteed, and then build off from there. That's one thing NoPing will have to actually do is ensure that Matthew just doesn't get blown up as fast as Egoboys would want him to be.
Okay. Final banouts are soon to come. We do have one more pickup left for Egoboys before we get to that stage. Still 2 more cores to go here for Egoboys. You'd assume they just go for the off-lane pickup now. They still aren't really aware of what safe lane is going to be there for NoPing, so maybe you go for your own mid lane pickup now because you know you should be up against the Invoker, and leave the off lane till the last pick, and that way you can at least get a favorable matchup for yourself. See what they do decide on. It's not like the
Ticking
Invoker.
down low.
It's not like the Invoker is generally that dominant of a mid either, but they'll go for the Beastmaster for now. So one of those pickups where you can kind of just dominate no matter who you're up against, especially if they're obviously a melee core. So the Beastmaster picked up, nice pick there. We'll go into that final ban stage where we do see Egoboys. They get rid of the Troll. Probably the PA coming up next.
And the Beastmaster is really good in preemptively making it hard to pick something like the Faceless Void now here as well. So if you go for the Void, you don't catch the Beastmaster in the Chrono, then you're always going to have Roar to stop it. So it's a nice preemptive pick covering up some holes in terms of maybe dealing with the Void Invoker combination. They can also just ban it out anyway. If Egoboys feels like that's a pick, again, we haven't seen Void in a very long time. Across multiple regions, just sort of faded off, although the Invoker Void combo was fairly popular in the last year. So it's still somewhat an option here for NoPing. They are thinking hard about the bans, and knowing that the Beastmaster is there off, though, they are probably looking at the off lanes to take out the NP, which is one way to build the push up on Egoboys when they have the Beastmaster. Of course, Egoboys do take out the PL. PL into Ursa is rather good for the PL. Just get the diffusal up and start running down. We have seen that matchup also fall flat, but I think that was more down to a greedier draft rather than the PL itself. So they just take care of these natural matchups against the Ursa. They leave the Void, they leave the PA. Those are still options there for NoPing if they want. And NoPing, smartly enough, ban out the Lycan, as you could run Lycan mid, and then you could rush Ags, and then you have Ursa Lycan, just like we've seen in Southeast Asia.
I was going to bring that up as well, because I thought the Lycan was one of the better picks that Egoboys could make, especially if they are going to be playing on pretty bad ping here. The Lycan doesn't really need to have low ping to play well. It's a pretty easy hero. Not much micro necessary either. Egoboys, however, into the Riki they go. So that should be a mid Riki we're looking at. I suppose it should do okay into the Invoker.
Yeah. We've actually seen that matchup before, I think in Southeast Asia when we were casting. And the Ricky actually comes out on top, depending on how you play with your Blink Strike and with your tricks, but you can dodge a lot of the Invoker's damage. You can get yourself out of danger. And
Oh.
NoPing do go with Naga, so they've got this sleep combination coming in. They can pull out ASAP. The Ricky, I mean, it can deal with illusions with the Ag's Battle Fury, but we're talking about a lot of illusions potentially coming out here from HFN, so it's still not quite the ideal. We'll have to see how that does boil down. Does give NoPing another way of getting some disables off, so they've got 3 sources of root now, and that can make it tricky for the Ursa and Ricky to jump in and out. So pretty nice closer here for NoPing. Another hero that's not necessarily in meta, but HFN probably just feel confident on it, and they've got some good buffs and good combinations to play with here.
Yeah, I think it's quite nice of the Beastmaster to boot, right? Because you have the Riptide, so you can clear through the boars. Very high armor hero, the Naga Siren, so you don't really get as much damage when you are hit by those boars as well. And of course, like you already talked about, all the combinations they have with the song are going to be very impactful, I'm sure, going into this game number 2. I assume you believe the NoPing draft is better than Egoboys this game 2 as well.
Yeah, yeah, I am liking it. I think they've got the answers for what Egoboys wants to do. Naga's just going to kite around the Ursa when it comes down to the early fight until a BKB flies in for Rises. So there's that issue. You do have decent illusion clear again with Ricky Ags up and with the Beastmaster Axis being thrown out. That is one way to keep Naga down, but it boils down to the fact that when it comes to farm, this Naga is almost the same as a Luna. You spam your illusions out, you send them across multiple camps, you'll clear out those camps one by one, or multiple times if your illusions are strong enough. And we've just seen HFN really maximize these sort of farming heroes. If Egoboys allow him to get that space out, not much will change from game one. So we have to see the aggression come out from Egoboys. They have to take control of that jungle and ensure HFN just doesn't get the free farm he wants to find here.
Yeah, which is a pretty hard ask, but they've got the draft for it. Definitely pretty possible for them to just roam around as a team, abuse this Beastmaster with his Hawks, and just gain vision across the map, and just try to make sure that HFN can't freely farm up. Of course, if they are going to be on much larger ping this game around, that could be hard for them to get done, but I have faith in Egoboys. See what they can do. Of course, HFN already just chilling out, scouting around, seeing Tano for a second.
30 seconds.
Like he probably hasn't got much to be afraid about anyway. I don't think they can really kill the Naga Siren at level 1 right now. Not unless they have 3 heroes around, and even then, she is pretty darn tanky with 7 base armor to get started. She's even going to send the illusions out very early to get that scouting out, and maybe even try to deny a bounty rune off towards the northern bounty rune. Kara's going to fight for it, but... Oh, Kara's actually maybe disconnected here. Walking back, he does get a pause off. See if the deny can come out. I mean, the Naga Siren attack animation's not actually too bad.
Yeah, it's a pretty snappy one. Of course, you don't want to get that rune denied. Going 2-1 for bounties is never a good time at the start. So we'll have to see if Kara can walk up. Still has time, 7 seconds until it spawns up. So could probably gap close and just spam those right clicks. A bit of lag coming out here from Egoboys. So it does look like there's a connection issue. Gonna have to wait for it to reconnect. And we'll just have to see how it unfolds. Looking pretty good here so far. I think we might see NoPing again go for that first blood attempt up top. They are keeping their supports kind of tied in here. If not top, then maybe mid. Pandaboo's ready to spam out his spells. So 4 mangoes, 2 stacks. And Matthew is ready with 2 fairy fires to beef up that right click damage just a bit more.
We have another disconnection here from Dismar this time. We'll just wait for this reconnection from Kara. You know, John, we don't get to watch South American Dota very often, you and I. We usually are... Before we came to NA, we were usually doing the SEA and sometimes the Chinese region, so we didn't get to see these regions as much. I've got to say, though, it's very impressive. I think I said this yesterday, but I think a lot of people underestimate the talent that's coming out of South America and America for that region. For that reason, it's they're pretty darn good, John. I think as time goes on and they get a bit more practice and more players start to pop up, this could be one of the stronger regions.
Yeah, it's highly competitive. We have seen solid build-up from South America as time passes, and seeing the playstyle they do bring out here is fun. It reminds me a lot of how
SEA.
Southeast Asia was.
Yep.
Yeah, all the way back. I think 2 years back, 3 years back, Southeast Asia was in that same situation where the talent was there. You just needed, solid captains coming in, and that was the time when we got EE, we got Pai Lai Dai coming in, we had 1437, we had players like that come into the scene and hold their own. So yeah, I think if South America gets a moment like that, maybe get more vets into the scene to help spread that experience around, it can be a really solid foundation. But as it is, it's already really competitive. We've seen these South American teams take games off the NA teams, take wins in series as well.
Yeah.
So they are not. This is not a region to count out. And I think it's a bit of an unfair judgment to just write them off.
I mean, Dota people can be a little unfair with their judgments, John, as we tend to be, I can admit that I can judge unfairly sometimes. Nevertheless, I look forward to seeing LANs come back, which is where we're really going to see how every region's looking. But I always appreciate the regions that are bringing new ideas to the table, right? So it feels like every region tries to emulate what Europe's doing, which is fine, because, understandably, they are arguably the best region right now. But I like bringing in the new ideas, and I think that's the way you beat the best teams in the world, is just catching them by surprise. Not just copying them. Because if you copy somebody, generally speaking, you're never going to be as good as the original.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you want to find your own ideas. You want to play around your own strengths, and we are seeing a lot of that in South America. Although we do get the go-ahead, Kara is going to stay around to try and take that rune. Illusion not going to live through the hits.
Yeah, it's going to expire anyway. You wouldn't have had enough time. Bit of missed time there, but it doesn't matter. 2 for 2.
Yeah.
Pretty even trade.
Yeah, nothing too exciting. You do start with a solo lane for HFN, so Dismar is just going to slap him around a bit. Do have that early aggressive start once more here from NoPing. Have Matthew scouting out. They've got the same forward ward, not contested, not dewarded at all, and Ryze is just going to cop a couple of hits while his creep wave is still going under the tower. Pandaboo going to look for that first blood opportunity. A bit tricky, as Ursa is slightly tanky, but they're going to try.
Rises. Oh, he's gone. It works out. First blood already going the way of NoPing, and of all heroes to kill, they get the position 1 of Egoboys, and of course the voice lines do start as Pandaboo now. Straight after Dismar. Dismar might be dead here. He hasn't got the roll up. He can boulder smash to slow down Pandaboo, but he's just going to keep chasing, and Pandaboo pops the clarity. Not in range for the frostbite yet anyway. Dismar will salve up, but this is going to be so much regen that's going to go, and I think Dismar's still dead. Pandaboo's going to have it. Yeah, he's going to TP out. He can't pull this away. And there you go. Tip for Tano. He's not going to get the creep equilibrium his way either. And that's a little great play from Pandaboo. Just making sure they can't fix the equilibrium.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough start for that Beastmaster. As you mentioned already, the Naga in this lane can hold its own. Tano's not getting too much harassment out. And even Dismar, again, walks back in, gets just rooted up with a Frostbite, and is suddenly just in an awkward spot with no regen.
His game's ruined. I'm telling you right now, as an Earth Spirit player, John, his game is ruined. I mean, he's rushing an Urn, he's got no regen, no boots, he can't do anything in the lane, not even an Orb of Venom to try and go after Pandaboo, and every time he gets close, he gets hit, and he is probably dead. And he is. Nice easy kill there for the CM. This is going to be a very hard Earth Spirit game. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, it's not going to be fun. HFN getting a lot of space out because of this. Not as much presence you can expect from Tano. He did go for the Axis level 1, so it looks like he might actually just opt for the Wild Axis build to try to apply that harassment onto the Naga. He doesn't have enough mana to sustain that, although he will have a second Sage's Mask coming in, but it's only so many spells he can toss out, and HFN already off to a very smooth start in that Naga.
Of course, mid lane, you've got Dark Mago there up against Alone, and Alone is having a really nice time right now on that Riki. Of course, you talked about in the drafting phase, but the Riki generally does outlane the Invoker in a 1v1 matchup. Still very, very strong. However, bot lane is where the action is again. Tano is going to go down now to HFN. Another tip out from our Naga Siren. It's really tough. Like, the Beastmaster's kind of stuck solo laning now, but he's got an Earth Spirit that's going to be soaking XP off him. So he's in a dual lane while having to win it by himself. Meanwhile, top lane, looks like Rises is going to die again on the Ursa, and now Kara's going to get dived under the tier 1, but Oscar has gone too far. He did underestimate the Melodic damage, and Matthew is not going to be able to finish off the kill onto the Witch Doctor, but you're still very happy about that. You got the Ursa before you died.
Yeah, and you're forcing the support on Kara to pop the salve on himself. He might be able to find his follow-up kill in Matthew, though.
Matthew does go down. Kara gives him the tip. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's a consolation prize. You're still not very happy about dropping yours. Oscar's still off to a really good start, saving up for his Soul Ring, and with the CM aura active, Oscar has a lot of spam here.
Turns around for the Mango. That may mean Tano could be dead. They get him with the Brambles, but they'll go after the Spirit instead. Dismar to go down, and Matthew will take the kill. The 1-for-1 trade. Tano is sort of fighting back now on that Beastmaster. However, Shadow Realm is there from the Dark Willow. Can he get the hit off? Not quite. But Matthew is going to haunt Tano here. Would love to get that Cursed Crown off. Dismar is going to come back in. Matthew may have gone a bit too far, but another Brambles is there with the Cursed Crown, and Tano, he's trapped up and gone. Dismar, again, just can't help. Not with the items he has.
They tried to get the chase off onto Oscar while he's solo, but at level 4, the Timbersaw is very hard to keep locked in, even with the Maledict running. They don't manage to find that kill.
And they don't, and Dismar barely getting away with his own life, having to commit another salve. Matthew was very close to dying himself, but is going to be okay to back off. Meanwhile, Oscar trying to go back onto Kara. Again, got to be careful about that Melodic damage, but he is still just going back onto the Witch Doctor. The Melodic is going to be nowhere near enough this time.
Yeah, he's just forcing them to throw these spells out consistently. You are getting more levels up on Kara, level 3 Maledict up now with level 2 Cask. So if you dive again, should be some position to punish, but you're very low in HP, and Oscar also hits his level 5. This is an awkward lane for Rice as well.
Tano. It's just so tough. HFN is going to try and get away. Tricks the trade. Oh, that's a nice play Alone. Getting 2 of them now. Very, very nice Riki rotation into Dark Mago. They might even find a triple kill here. As Matthew will be able to take Dismar, and Alone had no Blink Strikes left. Still, a very nice rotation here from our Riki. That was a great dodge on the song with the tricks of the trade.
Yeah, it's just giving them those kills, finally finding the kill onto HFN, which was much needed. So they equalized lanes just a bit, and Egoboys drag that lead back to less than 1k the way of NoPing, and you are seeing Alone start to really kick up. Dark Mago is keeping up in terms of last hits, but the Riki now is starting to hit a bit of a power spike in terms of raw damage, so you do have to watch yourself on that Invoker. If you let the Riki jump you up, and he gets Smokescreen up, you're not going to be alive for too long.
Absolutely not. Bit of a tri-lane down bot now. Tano, got to be careful not to get too close to the creep wave. Pandavu going to be spotted. Tano, still level 4. Of course, with the Roar, you might be able to dive onto the CM, but without it, it's just no chance in hell. How's our Ursa doing? Arises, he has been catching up in terms of CS. Of course, still behind the Naga, but that's to be expected. Just a ring of health for now, so not really anywhere near the Battle Fury timing, but I think he has an item coming out. No, just the phase boots and the courier. So just trying to catch up in terms of itemization. Might be a slightly late Battle Fury timing. Meanwhile, mid, Dark Mago in danger. Is going to try and run away. In fact, he might just turn around and fight back with a great Curse Crown out from Matthew. Landing on 2. Blink Strike back onto the Invoker, but the Frostbite Pandaboo.
Oh my god.
Oh, they turn it around perfectly. NoPing. The supports of NoPing, John. Just really nice coordination.
Yeah, and they even find a solo kill up top. Oscar does pop the Maledict, but it doesn't matter. You found the Ursa. And I wanted to point this out earlier. Kara's the one getting EXP. It's the Witch Doctor who's at level 6. Your Ursa was 5. When Kara was 5, the Ursa was really at fresh 4. So it's been a slow start up top. They aren't falling behind in farm, which is the good thing for Egoboys. They're still keeping up in terms of net worth. But the map control is starting to shrink. They need to fight this out and stop Dark Mago.
You know what the beauty of that is, John? If this was a pub game, it wouldn't be Ryze's fault. It'd be the Witch Doctor's fault. Here we go. Ryze's gonna die again. Ping tips come out. Meanwhile, mid lane, they're trying to go onto Pandaboo, who is literally just standing his ground up against the lone. He will eventually die, but that's a 3-man rotation for a Crystal Maiden kill. Dark Mago has a DD rune. Alone. Hold snaps up. He gets dusted up. Alone might just be dead. He blink strikes to the high ground, but a tornado out with the EMP. Alone is dead, and Dismar also going to go down to the bedlam damage of Matthew. They're trying to play on the edge here, Egoboys, but I think their egos might be getting to them here, John. Got to sit back and maybe just get a bit more farmer.
Yeah, it's not going well. I mean, they can't even threaten HFN because he just dips into the jungle, gets his own farm up, is leading the pack now in terms of last hits and net worth, 4.1k on the Naga compared to Ryze's at 3.2. And you do have level 6 up on Tano. Maybe you get something down here.
Oh, they're definitely going to find something. No. Kara, the unfortunate victim of the Bedlam. Tano going to try and escape, but no. Dark Mago with the tornado just in the nick of time, and Tano is gone. This is really good team play, I gotta tell you. It's very, very impressive. I mean, you can argue they're at a ping disadvantage for Egoboys, but even last game, when NoPing were at a ping disadvantage, it was the same thing. They just coordinate so well as a team.
Yeah, they do. They just know where to move, know the timings they need to hit. You've got this Ricky who wants to go hunting around. Does find Matthew, but...
Can he get him? Shadow Realm's there. Pandaboo, Frostbite out.
Oh boy.
Freezing Field, the roll is going to save the life of the Ricky, but now the song's there. HFN is going to allow Pandaboo to salve. Earn is going to cancel. Do they really want to go back in? Not when Matthew pops the Bedlam like that. Just making sure nobody dies, and Alone, one of the courier can't go for it. Oh, what a dust out from Matthew with the scan out. Alone onto the high ground, will avoid the tornado. Still trying to run.
Courier
He'll
scouting?
go for the TB, the courier. Cold snap, not going to make it.
Oh man,
just so on the edge.
I mean, they're just hunting down everywhere. And they're buying space out as well because now Oscar is dragging a couple of supports up top. Level 8 on the Timb, so he's just running around at the top tier 1 at 31 HP, should be denied, although they catch him out.
Yep, Death Ward down as well. Oscar tanking through it, but is going to die. You know what, John? I blame that on you.
Came too close to what
you called it Tim again, and look what happens. Oscar having a
perfect roar.
Game. Roar in the mid lane. Dark Mago now going down. What have you done, John?
It's Tim. You can't convince me otherwise. It's Tim. There are multiples of us. Dozens, Mike. Dozens who say Tim.
Egoboys. T1 mid tower. Gonna go down. Onto Matthew. Pandaboo there with the Frostbite. Now the Brambles into the Bedlam. It's just so much damage, but not quite enough. The Tricks of the Trade is out on Oscar. Could not get through Alone in time. They're going to chain forward after Kara, but missed the Chakram. Has another chains. Whirling Death up soon, but Kara, Cask, is going to connect, of course, but Chakram is there now. Roll in, that is a very, very dangerous roll in, but with the smoke screen, perhaps they might be able to find something. They'll just turn back around now with the Terrorize onto the Earth Spirit, and that is going to be Disma going down. Alone, going to get dusted up as well. Oscar, he's not done yet. He wants another. He's not going to find it. Nice blink strike away there from Alone, and Pandaboo will get the tip, though I'm not sure why.
Not quite sure as well, but this does open up the mid tower push now, and it is gone. Nice deny from Alone. Not going to cost him his life. There's no man on Oscar, but this is all, pretty much all tier 1 towers gone. The top one is hanging on at 31 HP, and just again, NoPing finding these early objectives, playing to their momentum while buying space out for HFN.
Dark Mago, look at the damage he's dealing right now with this Cold Snap Spirit Vessel. Rises just melts. Pandaboo was there, but I don't think he was needed. Just this Invoker. So darn strong.
It's been a runaway start for Dark Mago. The mid lane matchup was pretty darn good for the Ricky. And again, I'm surprised they left that tier 1 top not to be denied. Still down bot. Tano?
Tano falling quite low. Alone is around. He's going to blink strike into Matthew, but there are 3 heroes he has to contest. Matthew going to survive, but he's underneath the Hawk. Alone going to go after Pandaboo. Does get the Crystal Maiden, and Oscar is out of mana. He has Arcane Boots in a second. He'll chain away from the Death Ward. Chains back in. They'd love to pick off Alone with a perfect Tornado, but the tricks of the trade in there in time. Alone still in danger, but he'll blink strike to the low ground. Thus, not going to be there in time. NoPing going to have to lose that Crystal Maiden. But you know, while all this is happening, and this happened last game as well, we kind of forget about HFN, who is top of the net worth board on the Naga, and is continuing to just freely farm up.
Yeah, and he's up there, 7.6k, way beyond Rises, 2k up above from any core next to him. It's just been a free run in terms of farm. Probably going to go for that Diffusal, as we tend to see. And once you've got Manta Diffusal on Naga, you can really start running heroes down. Like, you've got so much damage. You've got the Ensnare up to help you trap some heroes in. And Tano.
Oh, don't show yourself to that Naga right now. The Illusion's going to be left to do the job. HFN pops the song now. I'm not sure what this is about. I don't know if he needed all this, but they're going to go in anyway. And Tano terrorized up. They'll get one, and they'll even find another. Just making sure they get the kill as Pandaboo now catching out Kara with the freezing field. Dark Mago somehow gets the kill on the Invoker. And Rises is going to also be spotted by Matthew now with a nice deep Observer Ward. They won't be able to get the Ursa, but who else have they found? It is going to be Alone now on the Ricky. Dust comes out and does connect. Alone still in danger as the Spirit Vessel is ticking him down. Brambles out. Alone just stands there for a second. Will try to blink strike away, but he does go down regardless. And now Matthew just going to move up to the high ground with the chains out from Oscar into the Tornado of Dark Mago. And the Yule's out from the Willow. Rises, gets to the low ground, but the Curse Crown going to stun him up. And he's gone. Death Ward is out. They are going to find Pandaboo, but they're going to lose the Witch Doctor as well. It's surgical play here from NoPing, John. Absolutely surgical.
They're just cutting through. Egoboys have to stagger in one by one. They're not finding any angles. They're not able to take that many objectives beyond the mid. And they might lose more as they're not backing off.
Disma, he's going to try and get something. Matthew has not proven to be easy, and they might lose the Earth Spirit. In fact, they do. Matthew, he'll survive. Tano, all his mana drained up, is going to go down. Alone, though, does get one. He wants Dark Mago as a second. Tricks the trade out. Blink Strike not available, so Dark Mago, the Tornado, going to allow him to get out. And now Oscar has the dust, has the chains. And they'll just get more. 29-13, 16.5 minutes into this game. A 9k net worth lead for NoPing. And the tips continue to fly out.
I mean, they are just unstoppable. right now. NoPing just domineering on the map. They're still buying space out for their insurance in HFN, and he's actually not going for defusal. It's going to be a straight butterfly, it looks like. So just going for the pure for all the raw damage that he can ask for. And once the butterfly is up, he has no worries in the world.
Oh, Kara, he just
Kara?
wants the ward. Just let him have the ward. He's going to get it. He'll get the gold. And he actually walks away as well. Very nice. Into the Death Lord now. Back towards Oscar, but he's going to chain. Magnetize still on the Timber. And he's gone. Rises. Does get something for his time. They will even lose Panda Boo. Not a bad turnaround there from Egoboys.
Yeah, it's Roar committed though to kill that CM off, so maybe a bit of overkill to get that, but doesn't matter as long as you find something. 29 to 15, a good gold swing of 1,000 going the way of Egoboys, buys them some time to farm up. Alone is forced to go for the defusal build as he isn't the primary core, so he has to take the step back, just trying to get the defusal to fight. Rises does have his Battle Fury, and they do spot HFN out, but not sure if he can really fight a level 15 Nagas or level 12 Rick.
I don't think so, but maybe if you get a
Ooh,
nice courier
that's a
snipe.
butterfly gone.
Eagle Song was on the courier indeed. His butterfly now will have to wait for another 2.5 minutes. That being said, HFN, he's barely been fighting, so I guess it really doesn't matter. Maybe it slows down this Roshan they're going to attempt, but that's pretty much it. 2 minutes, you get the butterfly, you group up with your team, and you probably just start killing people again if you are HFN. Roshan is still dropping very, very quick, regardless of butterfly or not.
Look at the smoke out though. Egoboys want to circle in. They did scan it out.
They're not going to make it. This isn't the right time to fight. Song is up as well, and they found a pick off. It's going to be alone on the Ricky. This is not the person you want to lose right now, but you have no choice in the matter. It's looking spicy. Oscar, obviously very happy on the Timber right now.
Yeah, he's had a great time. They've got the Aegis on Dark Mago, which is the smarter choice as he is squishy, although Matthew.
Raw out. They are going to find the Willow. That'll be one down, but the freezing field now cancelled the silence. The Death Ward doing a lot here from Kara. They're not cancelling it. Dark Mago almost going to drop as Dismar rolls back in, but there's your net out. They've lost the Aegis. They should be able to find both supports on top. Dismar going to try and run away. Will go down, and of course Oscar is going to chase Kara. And he's not going to get him, Kara. He's going to make it, but he has no TP.
Yeah, this is an awkward spot for the Witch Doctor. Looks like he is going to live as no one else is trying to check, but that's still a pretty big win coming out. Oh,
this courier. Look at the angling, John. Oh, it's not going to be in.
No.
Daytime vision? Nah.
Nah, unfortunate, but you're happy enough, Kara, living through. Gonna have to walk through enemy lines though, so a bit sneaky of a play. And he is spotted by the creep, so he's gonna die now for sure. Look at this.
Tries to skip the creep wave. See ya, Kara.
I mean, he had no choice. He had no way to walk out there. So they take him out. In the end, took a bit longer, and Egoboys 33 to 17, 11k deficit. They are trying to build up on rises. He's almost at the BKB, but they're being run over because they're just being invaded in the triangle even.
First crown on the Necromonicon creep is Oscar. Chains straight in onto that Beastmaster. Smokescreen plays the Tano. Is not going to be saved. And HFN has his courier back up now, so the butterfly should be on the way at any moment. Meanwhile, Dark Mago going to have a chase here onto Rises. Checking the tree line, trying to suss out where this Ursa's gone. Looks like Rises is going to be fine this time around. Mago's still around the area. He needs to be a little bit careful as this Ursa is still going to hit you pretty hard. And he has help coming in. Kara is there along with Dismar. Roll, not going to connect the Ghost Walk, but the Dust out. Alone, meanwhile, getting Panda Boo, but Dark Mago is the one that's still being chased. He's escaping as he does go for the Spirit Vessel. You do have this Riki round as well, but Matthew controlling him up into the Brambles and the Terrorize. And that is going to mean Alone is going to die alone. Dismar will do the same, and Kara, the sun is going to land on top of his head. It's not going to be enough, but it won't matter because they have Saw Blades. Price for the deny, but Matthew will secure the kill.
Yeah, it's a tough time for Egoboys. The BKB is at least done on Rises, so he can maybe join these fights, get a few hits off, try to cleave some damage around, but you're going to be dealing with probably 2 butterflies here in HFN. Already has 1 more Talisman of Evasion lined up, is queuing that down, and they could find more as well if you're not careful.
Not the time to farm there, sir. Yules gonna be out. Ice Wall is down. He'll pop the Enrage, but there's so many disables. He's gonna get Yules up. Chakram's still there. Into the Cold Snap. He's forced to BKB now. Turning back around onto HFN, but HFN, he's got that butterfly. It's too hard to hit him at the moment. Tano, meanwhile, trying to fight back, but the Cursed Crown gonna stun him up. A triple kill out for HFN. Another kill onto the Witch Doctor, and alone is alive, but maybe not for long, as he's been rooted in place. Frostbite there, and HFN might just be able to dive in for this. No one to Blink Strike to any longer, and HFN will finish off the kill.
Oh, man.
Oh, he's going for a double butterfly as well, John.
Yep, he pretty much almost has to, he's dropping his items as well. Just a couple of things down. Oh, it's just a Quelling Blade, who cares about that? Along with some branches, freeing up some slots. They are going to go for the racks. They do have the response in the supports, and they are fairly low. Maybe you can snipe them. That it is risky.
He's got
give that
Song.
objective away.
HFN, he's fine. And I mean, once he's got this double butterfly up, there's just...
No.
How do you kill
There's
him?
no way. Yeah, roar and maybe Maledict, and then get some magic damage off. Even that's a big, tall order. They've been forced to roar up the supports instead, which tells you about the situation right now for Egoboys. They are trying, though, but...
Going in by himself into a full team. Oscar in danger, or rather, Dismar's in danger. Oscar doing a lot of damage, and Dismar is going to drop. Into Rise as they go now. The Ursa does have Enrage, needs some help. Freezing Field, meanwhile, on Tano in the back lines. Looks like Tano has to accept his own death. Now alone, might want to just jump in, but no, he's been frostbited up. He's been controlled, and he is gone. Sunstrike out as well, but the Yules from Oscar not going to allow the Sunstrike kill. Oscar will take it himself.
And that's going to open up another high ground push, potentially into those tier 4s. They're going to look for the top set of racks first. And the Naga has the second butterfly, so there's that damage. Going straight to tier 4s, they want to end it.
They've got Alacrity as well. And, HFN currently hitting for about 350 damage. Very, very nice. No call yet by Egoboys, but the Ancient is going to fall before they can get their team up to defend. So this is going to be a 2-0 victory for NoPing. And there's your GG out now from Rises. A great series overall, but NoPing just looking way too strong as HFN. It's not over until the Fat Lady sings. Duh. There you go. Game is now over. NoPing, a dominant series.
Yeah, they come out on top. They just play really well. They have these great picks for HFN. They go back to the Luna. They go for this Naga, the double butterfly working out. And Egoboys, not quite finding it. They had a good showing yesterday. This time around, not really lining it up. Unfortunately, I think game 1, of course, they didn't give Tiny to Alone for drafting reasons. They had to run the Tiny support. This time around, the mid-Ricky had a pretty good time. But the rotations just weren't on point. The moment they left, Rises was just always caught out by Oscar, and they just couldn't contest HFN's form. So that's something every team fighting against NoPing has to be able to punish. Do not allow HFN to free farm like that. He just comes out on top every time.
We have a similar matchup as well, John. Latham Defenders versus Infamous coming up next. Both these two teams are currently at first and second place respectively in Group B. So a very similar matchup. I'm not sure if there's going to be any ping issues between these two teams or whether we're going to have to choose specific servers. I suppose we'll confirm once we go into the first draft, but that first draft is set to begin in roughly 10 to 15 minutes. Until then, it's MLP johnxfire. We'll see you all again as soon as that first draft is available.